Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I am once again simulcasting on Bumble and U-Tizzle, Rumble and U-Tizzle. And I appreciate everybody's tuning in tonight, and I hope you all have had a great weekend. And I'm sure you all are like me, and we are so grateful that this tsunami did not take a heavy toll as we feared. We're going to talk about that, but we're also going to talk about a lot of things that are coming out and posts that Donald J. Trump put on Truth Social, one of which you're staring at right now. And people think he's joking around. People think, oh, he's just trying to get out of the Epstein stuff. You got another thing coming. Ain't nobody worried about the Epstein stuff. Nobody ever did worry about it before. Why the hell do you think we're going to worry about it now? So, while everybody is getting into the studio, I'm going to play some videos so people can settle in and get to say hi to each other in the chats. And if you're not subscribed so you know when I go live, why not? Anyway, let's see. I got this little video here, and we will settle in, be like butter, and get on a roll.
This one moment changed politics forever.
Donald Trump is here tonight.
Dinner. A ballroom packed with elites, politicians, journalists, and celebrities. But what they didn't know was that they had just created their worst nightmare.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Sitting just an extremely rich businessman, a guy who dared to challenge the system and got mocked for it.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
For weeks, Trump had been hammering Obama on his birthplace of Kenya, and the media, they couldn't handle it. So they did what the elites do best. They tried to humiliate him. And that night, Barack Hussein Obama took the stage and made Trump the punchline.
No one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing?
The room absolutely loved it. They weren't laughing at a joke, they were laughing at Trump. They wanted him small, embarrassed, and broken. Obama kept swinging, mocking Trump's business, his TV show, and his ambition.
All kidding aside, obviously we all know about your credentials and breadth of experience. Just recently, in an episode of Celebrity Apprentice, at the steakhouse, the men's cooking team did not impress the judges from Omaha Steaks. And there was a lot of blame to go around, but you, Mr. Trump, recognized that the real problem was a lack of leadership. And so ultimately you didn't blame Little John or Meatloaf. You fired Gary Busey.
Then came that fake image on the screen. The White House turned into a Trump casino.
Say what you will about Mr. Trump, he certainly would bring some change to the White House. Let's see what we've got up there.
The media howled, but Trump didn't move. That image, Trump sitting still while everyone else laughed, that was the moment. You can almost hear it in his head. Just you wait and see. Then it got worse. The host that night, liberal comedian Seth Meyers, picked up where Obama left off.
Donald Trump often appears on Fox, which is ironic because a fox often appears on Donald Trump's head. If you're at the Washington Post table with Trump and you can't finish your entree, don't worry, the fox will eat it.
The room roared, but Trump didn't flinch. He sat there surrounded by smug elites who thought they had crushed him. They didn't realize they had actually just activated him. And as the night went on, Trump left early. No after parties, no cameras. But that night didn't fade. It burned. Roger Stone later said it plainly, that's the night he decided to run.
Maybe I'll just run. Maybe I'll show them all.
Trump never admitted it directly, but he didn't have to. Because 4 years later, he came down that escalator.
Donald Trump is running for president and made his entrance by coming down the escalator at Trump Tower with his wife, Melania.
We need somebody that literally will take this country and make it great again.
The same media that laughed in 2011 laughed again in 2015.
We better be ready for the fact that he might be leading the Republican ticket.
Next. I know you don't believe that.
I know you don't believe that.
Embarrassing.
They said he didn't stand a chance.
Donald Trump will not become president.
He's not going to be president.
Donald Trump, just last week, he confirmed that he is again considering a run in 2016.
Do it.
My mother always said, be careful what you wish for, because you'll get it.
And then people get...
They mocked his supporters, they mocked you. But Trump didn't care. He started winning.
This has been an amazing evening. Already we've won 5 major states, and it looks like we could win 6 or 7 or 8 or 9.
One by one, he crushed the GOP field. Jeb Bush
is a low energy person.
Marco Rubio.
Don't worry about it, little Marco.
And Ted Cruz.
You know, Lion Ted Cruz came today. He couldn't draw 100 people. 100 people.
Then he turned to Hillary, the ultimate swamp creature.
Honestly, she has less energy than Jeb Bush. Admit it.
And on November 8th, 2016, he won.
I've just received a call from Secretary Clinton. She congratulated us. It's about us. On our victory.
And the same people that laughed that night in 2011, they were silently crying in a corner. The punchline had become their president. They tried to stop him again, they impeached him, censored him, rigged debates, but Trump refused to go away. And in 2024, he won again. That dinner in 2011 was supposed to be the end of Trump. Instead, it was the beginning. The elites tried to humiliate him, but he took their mockery and turned it into a movement. He never forgot, and in the end, he got the last laugh. And this was the moment that changed politics forever.
The storm zone. Yes, sir. I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
And he's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off. Payback time.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. We're looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Here we are once again. Nice to see you all. Thank you for joining me tonight, everyone. I had some posts from the 17th letter. I said, I don't want to post them right now. Might not be a good time. Well, it's a good time now. But we also have active things going on that is going to prove that there was an attempt to block or delay Donald Trump's inauguration and to have a coup after the election of 2016. Never mind everything they've done since then. And heads will roll. People will be arrested. Hi, Sissy. How are you doing? Robin, how are you? Doc, nice to see you. Ronald, nice to see you. Elva. All right, jet lag's here. Kathy's here. Debbie's here. Yeah, that night was a big mistake. I think, but hi, Lucky. How are you doing? I think Trump and the military had been working probably since before Obama was sworn in, I believe. This is a long-term plan. Hi, Yvonne. Nice to see you. Let's see who all else is coming in. Robin's here. Todd's here. Rubber Toe's here. Benjamin's here. Let's see. Doc's here. Let's see. Todd, Doc. Let me see who all coming in. Darla, nice to see you. Kim's here. Brett, nice to meet you. Welcome aboard. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, everybody. Hi, Wanda. How you doing? Helps the video to get around. Hi, Wayne. Thank you for going to buy me a coffee the other day, and along with Shannon. I appreciate it very much. When's the last day of the month? Tomorrow? Yeah. Yeah, and then August 1st is a big day. Hi, Miss Mendersu. Anne's here, yes. Yeah, big tariff day coming. And tomorrow, day after tomorrow. And Trump is already dropping word that there are going to be checks going out. And he's just keeping everybody on pins and needles, but especially if you are a baddie, a bad person, one of the members of the deep, and then the other word is state. So I'm looking at the numbers. Usually we want to talk about stuff when we get people in, because then they go, oh, I missed something, let me back up my video, and then they're 10 minutes behind trying to talk in the chats. They make the algorithm look like a heart attack patient on a EKG instead of a smooth run. But anyway, we're going to go over some of the posts that Donald Trump put out. This is one of them I showed you. What you see on the right was a repost that Donald Trump put up, along with 3 others I'll put on the screen. And he's not playing games. And this Epstein hoax is predicted, was predicted, and I'll show you all that in the future. You get them. Well, I'll let the posts say it for themselves. But they have nothing left. They're out of ammunition, and they think they're aggravating the base. But when the truth comes out, they're only going to vindicate themselves. So I didn't post last night. I don't post on Tuesdays, but we had that horrible situation with this individual in New York, an almost white person, and wokeness put this up. This is who CNN called a white male. I think in all fairness, said he was almost. Isn't that right? Did I get that right? I don't want to say anything wrong. But his target was supposedly, according to Eric Adams, was somebody with the NFL because of he thought he had a brain injury from football. But we're finding out other things that may have been his motivation. People are speculating, could this have really been his motivation? What is one of the things somebody was speculating? Here it is. Wall Street apes, they're not cuckoo. They post stuff pretty good. They don't go off the rails. Here they say Blackstone confirmed their top executive, Wesley LaPotner, had lost his life, I'll put it that way, in Manhattan headquarters shooting. Report shows Blackstone is behind buying massive amounts of properties all over the United States and increasing rents 38%. A new report is shedding light. It found one equity firm increased rent prices at nearly double the market rate. The new report from the Private Equity Stakeholders Project, I hate that word, stakeholders, especially the way the New World Order uses it, takes a closer look at America's largest landlord. Blackstone is not quite a household name. We all know about Black and then Rock, right? But for those who have anything to do with business or finance, they are known as the biggest real estate players in the U.S. During the pandemic, Blackstone went on a very aggressive buying spree, bought over 200 housing units throughout the country. Given that there already is such a crisis of unaffordable housing and that there were such a large number of affordable units, it's really almost a crime that they are now no longer affordable. They can count on the rents jumping every single year. How many, including him, it was 5 people, right? 5 people, and one of them happened to be this executive. So yeah, you would see why people would have their antennas up. And I will get into other things about this individual that I am curious about. Background, pedigree. See, anchor baby? You know, they're coming of age, you know. We're seeing a lot of anchor babies who are say, I served in the military and they deported my father, the father of a Marine. You'll hear that on and on because they're all coming of age. I don't know. I'm not saying I do know. I'm curious. But we've got other things to cover because we are addressing the anchor baby business along with all the other people who should not be in this country that are here. But I've got a video from the Epic Times that I'm going to play. A colonel who said he picked up the NSA phone. NSA, no such agency, and was told what he was told about delaying Trump's inauguration. A witness to a proposed coup in January of 2017. Here he is. This was just published today, I believe. And at the same time, we're hearing that there's an appendix to the Durham report that is coming out. Who's Durham working with? Y'all cogitate on that and put the answer in if you know. Hi, Benjamin. And nice to see you. Miss Bendersue's here. Let's see. Graybeard, nice to see you. Flannel Cheese, nice to see you. And if I missed anybody, I apologize. But anyway, please listen closely, and he will tell you exactly what they plan to do. And somebody put a stop to it. I wonder who that somebody could be.
So you were actually one of the people that assessed this intelligence community assessment from the side of DOD, as I understand it, that recently we've been hearing about that recently.
Yeah, I think it's page 74, 75 of my first book, The Nation Will Follow. 2 days after the election in 2016, I was called up on the NSA phone. The person said I had to be on the intelligence community assessment that was assembling to finalize the Russia narrative because we were going to prove that Trump was a Russian asset and we were going to delay or block the inauguration of Donald J. Trump for the first term. I just couldn't believe it.
This is what you were told?
This is what I was told on the phone. So this was a deep state coup. 2016. We went through the process in November. The final product came out in the first few days of January 2017. But bottom line, the supposed top secret review, there was nothing there to show that Russia was trying to manipulate the campaign or the outcome of the election in the favor of Donald J. Trump, that the Trump campaign was somehow colluding with community assessment.
They pumped out a report that they thought the military would swallow hook, line, and sinker. This is a retired colonel, okay? And the military didn't buy it. Wait till you hear who is authoring this document that was supposed to compel the military on the orders of the CIA and the FBI to block and or delay Donald J. Trump's inauguration.
The Department of Defense, because that's what happens in these reviews. The team members, the document, the final end product goes back to all the departments and agencies for review and finalization and approval. When it came back, my recommendation was non-concur. There was no evidence to support any of these assertions. And I was told, John, stand down. No, you don't need to complete the staffing. The secretary, which is Ash Carter, who's dead now, had already signed off because Comey and Brennan were personally hands on keyboard writing this assessment. You never have a director of CIA intel community assessment. That was very brief.
It sounds, even with everything we know today, it sounds.
It was
Ash Carter. Ash Carter was Secretary of State, and he's dead now. He already signed off on the approval of the product that Brennan and Comey had authored. And the military said no, along with, I'm sure, members of a few other agencies, but the bulk of the agencies were on board.
Absolutely nuts. It was absolutely nuts, and it was some of the most government service, uniformed or civilian. This was insanity. The voice on the other end, I know exactly who it was, and I put their name to the Durham investigation. John, we're going to finalize the Russian narrative, prove Donald J. Trump is a Russian asset, and delay or block the inauguration. It's never been done before in American history. This is insane. But it shows what was going on. And we were starting in early 2016. We were being fed information in interagency meetings from New York, from the Director of Counterintelligence, who was Charles McGonigal, who's now in prison, who was being paid by the Russians to spread the rumor inside the U.S. government that Trump was a Russian asset.
I just want to touch on that for 1 sec, since we're talking about it. It was Russian money that was funding the rumor that the candidate Trump was a Russian asset.
That is as insane as it sounds. Yes, the Russians were paying the FBI Director of Counterintelligence to spread the rumor it was the Russians that were interested in Trump, were trying to influence the election, and that there was a form of collusion going on between the Trump campaign and Russia. Shows the bizarre nature of the Soviet era psyche still permeating through the Russians.
So that was from the Epic Times. The person who was on the other end of the phone is identified, and his name has been given to John Durham. We've got another big player who is sitting in jail right now. And then the one I mentioned, Ash Carter, who is deceased. And we're going to be hearing a lot of other names And we also heard implicated at the highest levels of this coup was, of course, Brennan and Comey. Mark, how you doing? Let's see, what are you saying there? What's Irish and stays out all night? A patio furniture. Ha ha ha. That's funny. Hi, Jerry. How you doing? Nice to see you. Yes, Darla God did not let them win. Let's see. I heard somebody say, guess, Huber. Wanda, guess Huber. Well, that's not the name, but it's close. Huber is retired from government, but he'll probably come in and testify, wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say? I might go out of my studio to get some to show you all. But anyway, so now that we have that little bit of information, remember a couple of weeks ago, I said I got some posts here, but I don't think I should go over them right now. And I have to tell you all that about 3 weeks ago, I got word right before I went live, about 3 hours before I went live, that a friend of mine I had known for some 35 years had passed away. It might have been closer to 40 years. And we had quite a history together. And it took me a little time to process it. And I didn't say anything about it. But he's one of the individuals I quote sometimes and tell stories about. Anyway, 83 years old. And he's gone on to his great reward, if that is the case. Hi, David. Nice to see you. So when something like that happens, you know, you really got to come to grips with it, right? And you go down memory lane in your mind, whether you like it or not. So anyway, about 2 weeks ago, I said, I went on the 17th letter and I put in one name. And I said, wow. There were only 8 posts with that one name in it out of 5,000. Well, 4,788 or 877, how many it is. And only one of those 8 pertained to the individual I was looking for. And I took that post and was going to bring it up. And then I said, nah, let me hold off, because I don't want, as my channel's a little pimple, a pimple on a mule's behind. I mean, it's nothing, but you never know who's listening. But things are in motion now, so what the heck? Now I can bring it up. All these people that were talking about Epstein every day. Epstein was a Democrat, donated heavily to Democrats. Hundreds of Democrats went to his island. Democrats hoarded his files for 4 years, erasing, incriminating, and doctored the rest. Democrats blocked the release of New York files. Democrat judge blocked the release of grand jury files. Everything there is factual, undisputed. The news is putting it out every day. They created a pardon hoax out of the blue. Is Trump going to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell? Who came up with that narrative? They have a system of creating a narrative and then turning the narrative into an accusation through repetitiveness, mockingbird repetitiveness. And by the time it got to Trump, he said, I've not even thought about it. It's inappropriate to talk about at this time. Oh, He didn't say he wouldn't pardon her. So the shows every night, Trump is going to pardon. They make it an accusation, their own narrative, their own hallucination. And I said to myself, with all this going on, how come nobody's brought up the fact one of the biggest witnesses just lost their life recently under very suspicious. You have right now going on Prince Philip putting feelers out to see if he can be reinstated in the royal family. And the king says he's got no appetite at all. And the people have no appetite to have Prince Andrew back in the fold. We also have Junior here, Prince Harry, coming back cup in hand to the king. Although he's kind of a sideshow compared to Philip. But Philip figured, they're not going to put in any more indictments out for the people involved in the Ghislaine case or Epstein case. So can I come back? I didn't get indicted. No, you can't, was basically what he was told. So anyway, a couple of weeks ago, I said to myself, all this stuff going on, this narrative is being allowed to blossom. And it would be so easy to throw cold water on it. I said, when is somebody going to talk about Virginia Giuffre, right? And then like I said 2 weeks ago, I put the word Virginia, the name Virginia, in the 17th Post. I got a lot of posts. One of them was about Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe. Don't forget him. He'll be popping up again soon, along with another member of the Pandora's box of political elites. Don't forget that term. But that was not what I was looking for. So I read all 7 of them and I came across this. That was a message. Dearest Virginia, we stand with you now and always. Find peace through prayer. Never give up the good fight. This was in October of 2020. I said, could it be the Virginia I'm talking about right now, who has passed away, said she did not want to end her own life, but reports are she did. And prior to that, she had posted she was in a bus accident with a school bus and had severe kidney damage and was only given 4 days to live. But she did not want to depart this earth. But she did anyway. They claim by her own hand. So what did I do, folks? Because I'm in my own way showing people how to look at these posts in their entirety. Right? Hi, Pappy. How you doing? I'm looking to see if there's any other names about Melinda said Jeff Sessions. But that's not the one I'm talking about. It's a good guess, though. So what do I do? What do I do when I come across a situation like this? What do you do when do you surmise? Do you say, it's got to be her? That they were given a message to her 6 years ago, 5.5 years ago, however long ago it was. Do I click on that blue chain up there? No. No, don't click on the blue chain. I clicked on the Twitter link. Is the Twitter post still there that the link is to? I don't know. Let me click it and see. I clicked it. This is what came up. Yes. The message was to her. And apparently her Twitter account is still active, even though she's passed away. A couple of people already guessed Durham, guys. Durham's not in the government anymore. Virginia Go Free with her hashtags. The Great Awakening Worldwide. Document Dump. Let the people decide. And CSA and S3X trafficking. Thank you at Paris Hilton. Thank you. Michelle Licada? I don't know. Kids to Kids. And you see these names. People are in the movement to stop trafficking. And then you see this, I guess that says the rubber meets the road. What do they put up? WWG1, WGA, MAGA, CAG, The Great Awakening, Digital Soldiers. But anyway, back in October 21st of 2020, a message directly to her. Why am I bringing it up now? I didn't bring it up 2 weeks ago because I thought, they want this, the lunatics, to stoke up this situation. And that's the case. That's what they want. What happened yesterday on Trump's return from Scotland on Air Force One? I apologize about the noise, the background noise. See the young lady? Her face is behind the RSBN, the RSBN symbol. But I said the question must be forced, is what we were told. And that was about who is the 17th letter, about other issues. You have a press gaggle on Air Force One with a lot of big name reporters, right? Then you got this young lady, the closest to the president. And if you watch her, if you watch the whole press gaggle, you'll see her looking at her phone, and I think she's communicating with somebody. And she has no problem asking a question. She doesn't get interrupted. Nobody's between her and the president. And she's the one that asks the question about Virginia. And after that, she's basically silent. You see how that works, folks? If the press is too recalcitrant or too ignorant or purposefully trying to evade a subject, you got to get somebody in there to ask the question, right? And I think she was looking at her phone and being told when would be a good time to ask the president. So anyway, let me go ahead and play this for you, and you'll see, I think you'll concur with my observations.
Well, I don't want to say, but everyone knows the people that were taken. And it was the concept of taking people that work for me is bad. But that story's been pretty well out there.
What did they do?
In the spa.
Jobs? In the spa?
Yeah, it's people that work in the spa. I have a great spa, one of the best spas in the world at Mar-a-Lago. And people were taken out of the spa.
I counted, I could be wrong. I counted him saying the spa 10 times. I'll talk about that in a minute.
Hired by him. In other words, gone. And other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told him, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. I don't want him taking people. And he was fine. And then not too long after that, he did it again. And I said, out of here.
Mr. President, did one of those stolen, persons, that include Virginia Jeffrey?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know. None whatsoever.
We've seen how good your security detail is this weekend, and the team around you.
They've done a good job, yeah.
Do you have any answers yet as to what happened with the assassination attempt? Having seen them in action, it seems remarkable that was...
You mean the assassination with...
Now he's going to talk about the assassination attempt, and I want to play that for you all too. He's given out signals about what happened during the assassination attempt and how Joe had such little need. And I believe he's alluding to what they did was they purposefully gave him a skeleton crew of the least trained, not purposefully lackadaisical or whatever. But anyway, did you notice with that press gaggle, who knows, there's a dozen of them in there, and this one young lady right next to the president reads it off her phone and said, was it Virginia Giuffre? And Trump played it excellent. And he said, well, the reason I bring up, he played it excellent by saying, it might have been, yeah, I believe it was. But it's to get people talking about it. You know, you wake people up. You don't shine a spotlight right in their eyes when they're dead asleep and slap them in the face, because then they're blinded by the light, right? So the spa, even though I don't see it mentioned in the 17th letter, for years the spa was slang for Gitmo. Remember that, folks? And it's the first time I ever heard him using that term, or even I even knew there was a spa at Mar-a-Lago. But we all know, well, most of us know, that the temple is a recreation of a bathhouse / spa with a very suspect background over in the Middle East. But that's another time. That's for another time. Right now, we'll have Trump talk about the assassination attempt and then get on with the rest of the story.
Good that day. They had a bad day. They shouldn't have had a roof that was, unpatrolled. They should have had coordination with the local police because, you had a lot of talk going on. You had the woman screaming, there's a man up there with a gun. And a number of people were screaming, there's a guy up there with a gun. And they didn't have, the one group wasn't hooked into the other group. I'll tell you, the Secret Service shooter, David, was amazing. Because in 4 seconds, it was over. And if this lunatic was allowed to keep shooting, because they had a lot of tens of thousands of people there, so a lot of people could have been killed. I mean, we lost a great person and 2 people very badly injured. But the shooter, 1 bullet, think of that, 1 bullet from a very far distance. It's amazing. So he was great.
Do you feel like it's changed you as a person?
I don't know, maybe and maybe not, but it's, I like to not think about it. It affects some people greatly. I can't afford to be affected because I have a job to do, so I like not to think about it. If I think about it too much, it's probably not a good thing.
Does it not go through your mind at all on a morning like this morning when you're outside, there's a crowd? And
I don't think about it. I don't. I think you see the kind of protection now. I think they're very good. It's a whole different level. Look, these people went to Biden and Biden's people and asked for more help. because I was having rallies, 60,000, 70,000 people. I had 115,000 people, and Biden would have 2 people. Nobody wanted to see the guy. And he'd have a bigger security detail than I had. And they were asking, Sean and the various people were asking for more people, and they were denied. So they denied them, and so you could make that case. I don't think they've made that case well, because I knew for a fact that they were asking for more people a lot. They haven't wanted, they have said it, but not that publicly. But they wanted more people, and the Biden people would not give it to them. And we had massive crowds. You were there. But we would have routinely 50, 60, 70,000 people, and he would have nobody. He couldn't fill the circles, the 8 circles, and he didn't need very many people. And so that was a problem too.
So what he's doing is they're going on to the war in Ukraine, but he's laying the groundwork for how many times they requested assistance and were denied, and how little Joe Biden needed it. He also talked about his own memories, how of the attempt, and how he can't let that slow him down, which is important to hear. But anyway, we're going to get into, I'm going to repeat a post I put up times in the past that is going to show you how this Virginia go free question, if you watch that young lady, you will see her constantly checking her phone to see if there's anything else she would come up to question the president. And there's nobody between her and the president, nobody that can deflect her question or butt in or anything like that. But you could see, when you have the president of the United States talking about stuff, what's she looking at her phone for? Playing Candy Crush? No. She's seeing if there's anything else that she needs to ask the president to get into the public discourse, just like they did with Virginia. And then people are going to wonder what happened to Virginia. Okay. And some of these news anchors that are actually stupid are going to be wondering, why don't they want us? Who's preventing us from talking about Virginia? Just like with Trump talking about, who is preventing us from having adequate levels of security? All that stuff is being documented. So I found a interesting post, since we're going over posts. Let me see if this is the right one. They're awful small. They're real tiny. Yes. October 1st, 2020. Number 4003. You notice I didn't go through the time to blot out the letter. Let's see if I get in trouble or not. Because they changed the photos, how you can edit your photos in Goggle. That's why it took me an extra 15 minutes. I had to reconfigure how to do my studio. But anyway, very aggravating. But this post is important. Fake / doctored image / video dropped here. RE Epstein cell cam, explicitly designed to ban, terminate any Twitter users reposting. Do not take the bait. Use discernment. I thought when I first read this quickly, I thought it was the pictures we saw of the security cams inside the temple, that they were fake and doctored. But I said, wait a minute. Cell cam. They knew back in 2020 that the video that we're talking about now, with a missing minute and being doctored, they knew then it was doctored, along with any other cell cams. They gave Epstein not only that, but they had been flagged electronically so that if you put it on Twitter, they found a reason to ban you. And the doctored pictures gave them the ability to flag people who are troublemakers in their book on Twitter. There it is, right before your eyes. And you saw the date, October 1st, 2020. Fake doctor image, Epstein cell cam, designed to ban. Don't take the bait. So they knew back then that they were playing around with the videos. How's everybody doing? What are you not sure about, Jerry? Let's see. Who else got in here I didn't see? Man, where'd everybody go? Oh, I don't know what people expect. I mean, they expect... I don't know what the hell they expect. Here's an example. But I tell you what, my diehards, I love y'all staying with me, sticking with me. But you see how this counter-insurgency, counter-psyop, okay, digital soldiers, all right, how it's working, resetting the narrative. Speaking of which, Jake Tapper, I believe he got smacked in the chops a long time ago. He's still with CNN. And here's Nancy. CNN is supposed to be on the Dem side, right? You'll hear Nancy say, oh, don't talk about that. He's going to bring up her stock trading. And when she tells him not to, he isn't going to bat an eye. He's going to ask her again in a very formal way to answer about their insider trading. I think he got a smack in the chops, and he's got to play along with the Truth and Reconciliation Act.
Nancy Pelosi became rich.
Why do you have to read that? We're here to talk about the 60th anniversary of Medicaid. That's what I agreed to come to talk about.
Yeah, but I wanted
what that means in the election.
I wanted to give you a chance just to respond. He accused you of insider trading. What's your response to that?
Support to stop the trading of members of Congress. Not that I think anybody's doing anything wrong. If they are prosecuted and they go to jail. But because of the confidence it instills in the American people, don't worry about this. But I have investments that had been made over time. I'm not into it. My husband is, but it isn't anything to do with anything inside.
No, her and her husband are just fine. They're going by the law. People that aren't going to go by the law are going to get prosecuted and go to jail. Nancy said so. But he did make her answer it, and she said, don't read that. She said it right off the bat, man. She wanted to stop her. Or him, I mean. What is this one? Oh. I did take the letter out of this one. I just put this up as an example. This is from October 7, 2020. Remember, I was saying, and here it is repeated, symbolism will be their downfall. This is how they rely on their superstitions, okay, their paganistic sorcery, how pitiful it is. Joe 30330. Did they pick that as an arbitrary number? No, they went to the damn trouble. And Q's pointing out, what is 2020, the current year, divided by 30330? What did I tell you all about wasting time and people who imbibe themselves with some false sense of power? Symbolism will be their downfall. I went ahead and checked it out. 2020 divided by 30330, of course, is 666. And what good did it do them? They lost in the end. Their symbolism is squat. And they helped with the Great Awakening, right? They created such a damn mess that there's no denying their ineffectuality. And, you know, the other thing by the Biden administration, what they did, that bunch, when they think they're ahead, they think they're on top, they get sloppy and expose more than we probably ever would have found out if we'd have took care or tried to take care of them 4 years ago, 5 years ago. There would have been a lot of them that got away. But now, after that win and the media patting them on the back, all the comedians on their side, all the movie stars, they felt on top of the world, and they just... I might as well go ahead and show you this one. Let's see. Oh. The executive order shall remain in effect until November 3rd, 2020. What was it? What was it? Continuing temporary suspension and modification of laws regarding disaster emergency. Executive order for everybody to hunker down, wear masks. About the virus, of course, all this stuff is going to come into play as far as prosecuting people. But there was one post, I might have that saved for next time around. What is going to happen to these people? They're not going to escape. I can tell you that. They're not going to escape. Let me see. Look at Schmuck Schumer pushing the Epstein crap. He put out a statement yesterday. Even went to the trouble of making a poster to put on an easel demanding release of the Epstein files. They claim a quote from Donald Trump, and they make it real small. When it gets large enough for the audience to read, it says, as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. You know, when the real quote was from Donald Trump, as I remember it, that Epstein likes them too young. They're too much on the younger side for his taste. But no, that's not the way they play it out. So why are they continuing this pound? And I'll show you a post I put up times in the past. What would happen if text originating from an FBI agent to several internals discussed the assassination possibility of the POTUS or a member of his family? What if the text suggests foreign allies were involved? I alluded to that yesterday, or not, day before yesterday, when I was talking about it, how Keir Starmer was, yes, Donald Trump, no, Donald Trump, whatever you say, Donald Trump, and the same with Ursula von der Leyen. Forget the Russia setup. This is only the beginning. Be careful what you wish for as the world turns. Could messages such as these be publicly disclosed? What happens to the DOJ? What happens to the FBI? What happens to special counsel? What happens in general? Every FBI, DOJ previous case could be challenged. Lawless. Think logically. We haven't started the drops in reference to human trafficking, sacrifices, right? Haven't started yet. The worst. This is way before the Epstein stuff came into the general public eye. This business of trying to accuse Trump of pardoning Maxwell and demanding the files is the way to get it in the general public, not just us. Those good who know cannot sleep. Those good who know cannot find peace. Those good who know will not rest until those responsible are held accountable. And it goes on to say, no evil and corruption out there. Those who you trust are the most guilty of sin. Who are we taught to trust? If you're religious, pray. 60% must remain private, at least for humanity. These people should be ging. Should be a long drop. A long drop with a short rope. %60 needs to be kept quiet. But these are posts that I picked out that are germane to what's going on right now. You heard Trump talking about Macron. Macron saying he was going to recognize Palestine. And he's saying, I like Macron. He works hard. He's a good guy. But what he says doesn't matter. But I get along with him. Is Macron a true ally to POTUS? His sole purpose, White House visit, is to convince POTUS on behalf of the EU to remain in the Iran deal. You decide. And we all know the Iran deal, if we were allowed to stand, they would have nukes by now. So we know from that post that Macron is no ally, and neither was the EU under their current construction. This is an important post. Will it be, now this is a question from an Anon. It's in a black box just below the chain links. You click on that chain link, you will see all kinds of attempts to insert a narrative, but you don't get on the board unless you get put up there by the 17th letter. But if you click on the chain link, you'll see all kinds of crazy stuff, which you don't want to pay attention to. If the 17th letter ain't paying attention to it, you shouldn't pay attention to it. Okay, it says, will it be glorious? In my humble opinion, sir, it already is. Talking about the takedowns and how things are going and everybody from the FBI getting fired. This was back in 2018. And the answer is, in our opinion, until those responsible are D-E and then A-D, and or suffering, it shall remain, will be glorious. Because the commentator said it's already glorious. Coup said, you ain't seen nothing yet, and not until they're not living anymore or suffering. So yeah, that is yet to come. I got a couple more I'll go over, but I want to play this. Yeah, I was the same way. Who the heck is this? This is what makeup will do for you and a hairstylist. Does anybody who this? I'm gonna play a video, and he'll tell you who he is. Anybody got any ideas? Hi, Roland. Let's see. Could be wrong. Well, I don't know if the king's stepping in. He's certainly not letting Prince Philip back in the realm. They've definitely got their marching orders from Trump. Dirt. How you doing, Dirt? Dirt Squirt. Got it right. This is Brett Baer. Anyway, let me go ahead and play it.
Yes, this is what my hair looks like when I'm not on set. I'm working out right now, cross between Bobby Brady and Albert Einstein. Okay, tonight, Howard Lutnick, Commerce Secretary, on talking about the EU deal, the trade deal, the Japan deal, what comes next. They're meeting full-time with China right now. President Trump overseas with the UK Prime Minister. Expansive news conference. We'll get into all the things. Gaza, and two family members who have hostages inside. That hostage who was released was with them, and they talk about it all tonight. Really emotional. We'll see you at 6 p.m. tonight, and I'll have my hair regular.
Yeah, it's Brett Baer. It's Brett Baer. And yeah, Bush, he said he himself said he looked like a cross between Greg Brady and Albert Einstein. Anyway, here's confirmation of something else I was telling you all. I said, especially about Kilmar Abrego Garcia's spouse. I said, I wouldn't be surprised if she was getting housing, food stamps, all the benefits you can dream of, telling everybody she was living by herself and was a single mother. And at the same time, she had a man living with her, who wouldn't surprise me, that was making, what did they estimate with Kilmar? He got $1,400 a trip, roughly. He could do 2 or 3 trips a week. Do you think they reported that income to any damn body? Cash money? So they're making money, smuggling people around the country, and taking from our social services. Here's a young guy that was on the Matt Walsh program. Then they're talking about 30,000 people in Minnesota, Somalians. But it's not just them folks. I mean, it's all around the country.
Here's another apparent scam that Somalis are running.
Another crazy statistics just in Minnesota, not anywhere in the world. I can just imagine a statistic in the world. Just within the metro area of Minnesota, there's about 30,000 single Somali mothers, single mothers, which is a ridiculous number.
A lot of you man will think this is a true statistic, but it's not a real statistic because the single mothers that's registered in the government, they're not actually single mother. This is spousal support, man. Like, this is a hustle to get benefits. You understand?
This kind of thing is happening all the time. obtain government benefits. And Democrats understand that importing all these foreign scam artists is destroying the United States, but they're fine with it because all the foreign nationals living in this country, even the illegal ones, count for redistricting, meaning they give Democrats more seats.
Yeah, I should have played that clip when Trump was on Air Force One, said Americans are working their asses off and living hand to mouth. And these characters are getting everything under the sun for free. These people don't like you, okay? People like this don't like you. Padilla, what's his name? He's supposed to be a senator. Nobody knew of until now. Wants to give amnesty. Amid weeks of immigration raids in Southern California, Alex Padilla announced the legislation intended to expand existing pathways for immigrants to obtain lawful permanent residency. Go to hell. You should be in jail for what you've done to this country, what you've allowed to be done. Malfeasance. Update the Immigration Act of 1929. No, we need to enforce it. And Trump needs to keep doing exactly what he's doing. But if you think these people like you or care about you, any of these blue-haired freaks running around, here's a woman did a parody. I guess it's a parody, where she's purple-haired, talking about that girl who dressed up for who wore jeans for that company, Eagle Jeans or whatever, and made all the crazy liberals mad. Wait a minute. They think that made it. Well, let me try this first. This is what made him mad. One of the things that made him mad. Here she is. The jeans. And it's got everybody blowing a cork. To me, this is nothing. You see this in the 80s, 70s, 80s. This is the way people are supposed to advertise.
Sydney Sweeney, Hasbro Canes.
Yeah, that was a Shelby fastback Mustang. And remember that story I told y'all about a guy who was showing me his pistol, and he was a real dummy. And he pulled it out of the glove box, and it went off and shot right through his radio and about 2 inches from my knee. Well, that's what we were in. A Mustang just like that. That was back in the 70s. My hair got curly from that event and never straightened out. But anyway, that's what they're all mad about. So anyway, this woman did a parody. I guess it's a parody. I would certainly hope it's a parody.
Pissed off with this whole Sydney Sweeney American Eagle thing, honestly, because it just sets us back decades. I mean, we were making really good progress there because, honestly, what do white people need to be on adverts for? And what have white people ever done for us? It's just so racist, obviously, to put about jeans. I mean, at this point, American Eagle might as well be Hitler, because why are we celebrating white people? White people shouldn't really be in anything. And then also this whole sort of skinny, big boobs supposed to be attractive thing. I mean, women like me, blokes never ever found us attractive anyway. So what we did was pretended to be lesbians and made ourselves more unattractive, like just kept eating until we got this mega gunt. And gunts were everywhere for a while. Like, I could have been on the front page of anything Victoria's Secret. So, like, to put a hot woman there, what's that about? Like, fuck the patriarchy. Because that's all that Sydney Sweeney's doing, is complying to the male version of what a world should look like. And also, fuck Donald Trump, and also free Palestine. Yeah.
Scratching her butt when she walks off. That's when I figured, oh, that's a parody. That's a parody. But anyway, if they're freaked out about what's her name, Sydney. Here's Sky News did a story on it. Sydney Sweeney's jeans called NAZI propaganda. You know, she's a pretty girl, but she's got this. What do they call them? The model look back in the day? A kind of like a pouty, aloof look, like she's bored. You know, and that used to be the way it used to be. And if that really makes them mad, here's the next thing Eagle Jeans is going to put up right here. Their next ad campaign. If they thought that made them mad, how about this? Huh? How about that? Donald's got some good jeans. That'll really push their button. Wait a minute, I got a video about Donald. Wait a second, where'd it go? Here we go. Yeah, this is about Donald Trump and his jeans.
Explain to me how a guy who eats McDonald's and fried chicken and all those Diet Cokes and who never exercises is in as good a shape as you say he's in.
It's called genetics. Some people have, just great genes.
Donald Trump has great genes.
Ha ha ha. Legal immigration genes. But anyway, if you don't think Trump is serious, this is another one he put up. Right there it is, Donald Trump. Be the calm in the storm. No panicins. We don't want any panicins. Be the calm in the storm. We knew this day would come. And what's the other one he put up? He put two more up. Let's see. This one. The big T word. Treason. Evidence proves both the FBI and the CIA were deeply involved in the historic 2020 election lie that Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian propaganda. If you want these criminals brought to justice, read truth if you want it brought to justice. I'll put it on my video. Another one, and this is the big one, folks. Until this happens, nothing will change. This might be very telling. Because we've all seen the old picture of a whole bunch of them behind bars that was posted on the 17th letter. These might give us a little heads up, because I don't remember Bruce Orr being there. There's Lisa Page, Peter Strzok. We got the usual suspects like Brennan and Comey, Obama and Clapper and Hillary. But you see a few outliers that weren't in there. Rod Rosenstein. Maybe they get snatched up first. Maybe it's first to last, the way the pictures are. I don't know. Very interesting. I'll tell you something else that's interesting. CNBC put this up. Grew at a 3% rate in Q2, a better than expected pace even as Trump's tariffs hit. Now, Trump put a post out about that, telling Jerome Powell to drop the rate, right? But look at this picture they included with this. Evergreen. Remember that, folks? That's a code name for somebody. Code name for who? I know they spotted it. It's a Secret Service code name. I probably gave too much information out. I should have just said code name. People just listening are going to think we're cuckoo. Ha ha. But that's okay. We know we're not. Here's another thing about that Sweeney girl. Federal judge orders Sydney Sweeney to gain 100 pounds and get one of those butch haircuts. Yeah, there you go. Wanda got it. Kathy got it. Kathy got it first, and then Bill, yeah. That's her code name for Secret Service, Evergreen. How long about, let's see. Media coverage, here we go. You all heard about this. I don't like putting pictures of it, about those people that were beaten. Elon Musk, why zero stories? And Wokeness put up 0 from AP, Fox, PBS. But I did see Laura Ingraham do a story on it at night. PBS, nothing. New York Times, nothing. NPR, ABC, NBC, CNN, nothing. And when they did put it up, oh, Miss Mendelsohn got it first. All right. When they did put it up, they said it was a fight, like they were mutually fighting. People, that's like you're walking down the street and getting mugged. What are you doing getting in fights? You get attacked. You shouldn't fight. One of them got out of a $400 bond. We'll see what the rest of them get. But we got these idiots on Midas Trash Pail Network. And that Voices for America or some stupid thing. I'm waiting for them, Political Voices Network. I'm waiting for them to get sued. Especially this Glenn Kirshner. Exposes Trump's Epstein lie that shatters his world. Now, I don't know if he's putting this out or if they're the ones putting themselves up for a big lawsuit. And whoever's backing them. Let me tell you what where Midas Trash Pail is going to get themselves in trouble. Where is it? Midas Trash Pail. Going to get themselves in trouble, I believe. Here it is. Ivanka secrets revealed as Trump past haunts him. She's a private party, and they better tread very, very lightly. Because if they step out of line, out of their head, and Trump would be, hey, honey, that's great. Let me refer you some really good lawyers. Dollar settlements, 100 million are going to be something like that. I don't watch them, but that is a picture, I believe, of Ivanka when she was underage. It may not be, but if they insinuate lewd and lascivious stuff, or who knows what, they better watch what they're doing. I hope they don't. I hope they don't watch what they're doing. I hope they get their noses twisted real good. What's this one? Libs of TikTok. Breaking: Supreme Court to take up a case against Colorado school district who tried to transition a girl behind her parents' backs by convincing her to join a secret art club which was really a gender S3 actuality club, and urged her not to tell her parents. This is huge. Like I said, these liberals, they skirt around the law with double talk, pettifogging, pseudoscience, and what they're really doing is being lewd and lascivious around children, okay, which is criminal. So let's see which way this ball bounces. It's not only these bureaucrats that are going to be going to jail. I'll put it that way. Remember that's, we know about the guy they said was almost white. Well, the same day, remember we were talking about in London, there was a mass, well, I'll go ahead and say it, stabbing in London. Police hide suspect's identity. So here you see, it's international. You've got the person who did a mass shooting, and you've got London authorities purposefully hiding the identity of who did the attack in London. Now here happened today. Irish police officer stabbed in an unprovoked attack. Are they going to go with London and keep that a secret too? But that's why I want to know more about this person who went to New York with a rifle. I want to know his background. I want to know his pedigree. I don't care if he was on a high school football team. I don't care if he speaks real good English. I want to know the upbringing, okay? Was it an Allah Akbar upbringing? Or socialism is a wonderful thing upbringing? Certainly not an American upbringing in my book. But that's, that's the way I am. I'm hard to reason with, right? Here, let me see what this one says. Let me see what this post says. All right, this is important. Okay. The little girl, or I should say the young lady standing next to Mr. T, right? And how the media is being allowed to create the pardon hoax and spin this thing to be a Epstein thing to be totally in Trump's lap. Right here you have hunters become the hunted. Did Mueller open the door to Ukraine? I'm still saying, I said the term was because like my dad said, once a Marine, always a Marine. And he very well may have got the black hat smacked off his head and was told to put on a gray hat. That's what I'm saying. Did he open the door to Ukraine? Did he open the door to FISA? Hey, Judge Boasberg just got a formal complaint. And the request by the DOJ is to strip him of all cases related to the Trump administration and put him right in his place. His real place is on his rear end off the bench. Okay? But they've made a formal complaint about him, about his professional ethics. And I think it's the first step for his removal. But anyway, he was a FISA court judge. A lot of these judges are FISA court judges that I believe are going to be tied back to the attempt to destroy Trump's administration. All right. How do you introduce evidence legally? Did impeachment provide a platform to discuss findings of Ukraine? How do you introduce evidence legally? Did impeachment harm or help POTUS? It helped him. How do you introduce Democrats' high crimes, corruption to the public? Why didn't POTUS remove Hussein holdovers from NSC? Why didn't he remove Barack Obama's holdover appointments from the National Security Council? Do you really believe that POTUS's team trusted Hussein holdovers to remain within the administration and work to enact POTUS's agenda without bias or confrontation? How do you awaken the induced coma public, fake news control, from their long sleep? Here you go. This is the tactic that's being used right now with Jeffrey Epstein. Sometimes allowing your enemies to openly attack, ... Sometimes allowing your enemies to openly attack. Logical thinking. That's what we're seeing right now. I called it in the past political jiu-jitsu. Trump uses their own momentum, their own offense against them. This is something else to keep in mind, folks. We all don't say his name. We all know what he's about. We all know where he came from, right? It sure would, and we all know what happened to him. It sure would be nice to see the truth come out on McStain. This is a black box from the chain link question that they chose to answer. I know you can't say anything on the board, but he and we the people do not deserve the BS soap opera regarding the clown. This is an important answer, folks. To preserve the public, some things must remain buried. Remember that, folks. Remember two things. Be the calm in the storm. Don't be a panicking. And remember that some things must remain buried. And remember the post I said earlier, for humanity's sake, 60% at least. 60%. Just letting you know. Now here is Midas Trash Pail attempted a counter narrative. This character born in the USA, for all I know, he's an anchor baby, right? Just because you're born in the USA doesn't mean squat to me. This has been a response to an imaginary crisis. There is no immigrant invasion. This was posted yesterday. No trade crisis. No scientific or government crisis. Just people completely high off their own supply, trying to fundamentally reorder society. None of this had to happen. So they're trying to tell us we're living in a dream world. We're not getting overrun by migrants. We're not losing billions of dollars in our own wealth and in benefits given away to third world invaders. That there really is global warming, and all the billions they're spending on fighting, quote, fighting global warming, all the crappy stuff we get, wash machines and faucets that don't work and light bulbs that you can barely see with, that they force you to use regulations, and all that stuff's not necessary. You don't believe what you see. Yeah, born in the USA, all right. What's this one? President Trump says Jeffrey Epstein stole Virginia Go Free. and other young women from Mar-a-Lago Spa. Oh, who put this story up? Doing just what we want. ABC News. President Trump said Jeffrey Epstein stole Virginia Giuffre and other young women who worked at his spa at the Mar-a-Lago Club. People were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone, Trump told reporters on Air Force One as he returned from Scotland, where he continues to face fallout from his administration's handling of the files related to Epstein. The comments appeared to be the most detailed the president has made publicly. Good. Get them all to say, who's Virginia Giuffre? What happened there? Oh, she's not alive anymore? What happened there? How come she's not alive anymore? People will start asking. Here's Ghislaine. Congress invites Ghislaine Maxwell to come testify under a dangling grand piano. What's this one? I don't remember this. Let me see. What is it? Too small to see. Oh. This guy, Lula, his Supreme Court justice that is torturing and trying to prevent Bolsonaro in Brazil from winning the upcoming election. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has sanctioned Supreme Court Justice Alexandra de Moraes under the Global Magnitsky Sanctions Program for serious human rights abuses. Let this be a warning to those who would trample on the fundamental rights of their countrymen. Judicial robes cannot protect you, Elon Musk said. Yeah, with a bicep pop and a fire. Well, then the European Union also stepped in. Let me see. I think this is it right here. The European Union. Dominique Tarsi, I can't say the name today. I, along with 15 other members of the European Parliament, sent a letter to Kaja Kallas, High Representative of the Union for Foreign Affairs and Security, urging her to recommend that the Council impose targeted sanctions against who? Brazilian Supreme Court Justice Alex. I squat off of Amazon or eBay. He can go get some tortillas or something down paying pesos or whatever they use. But he can't do any, and he can't access any of his allies on the court for their egregious violations of human rights. The EU must not stand by as more judicial system against its political opponents and brazenly violates the human rights of the Brazilian people. We commend Donald Trump for imposing sanctions on Moraes today, and we call on the EU to quickly follow suit. So they got huge pressure on them because you put on top of that the tariffs that he is charging Brazil. And yeah, it's not good for them. I want to ask you all about this story. I got two possibilities. Well, first I'm going to show you about this tsunami. What happened over in Russia and Japan. But here's where the epicenter was. You can see how close it is. We don't have anybody from Alaska in tonight, or do we? I don't know if I believe that, Bill. Bill, I'm telling you, you're going to find out Pence is a hero. So, anyway, you see how close that is to Alaska. But anyway, that is the epicenter. It gives us a little better idea of our relationship with Russia. But I got two video clips. One's from Russia and one from Japan. Let me see. This is beluga whales, a family of them, a family. I feel so bad, and I hope they're able to help. But here's some local fishermen, I guess, tending to the whales. Hopefully they'll have somebody come up with a vessel and some rope or something. But here they are. They were washed up on shore, a family of 5 beluga whales.
Помочь, чем можем. Тяжелая семья. Маленький. Густые слезы. Бедолаги.
Yeah, you can hear the baby crying now. That's tough. I hope they can get that boat and get some rope and drag them out. The Russians are pretty plucky people. I think once they decide to help those whales, they'll do it somehow. And I believe this is some whales in Japan that got washed ashore. I don't understand what the young lady is saying.
海に打ち上げられているものとみられます。今回の津波との関連というのは情報が入っていませんけれども、られている様子がわかります。何頭もクジラがいる様子がわかります。映像で見えている限りで3頭のクジラが確認できます。千葉県館山市の映像でした。
Looked like about a 15, 16 foot inflatable offshore that they might have been able to rig up to. I would have to get a hold of some biologists to see what's the best way without injuring something that big, animals that big. Anyway, I couldn't decipher what that young lady was saying, but you could see the whales. Now, these are the Thai and Cambodian situation, and this is a statement I think Cambodia put out. I'm not sure, and I'll try to translate it.
Both Cambodia and Thailand reached a common understanding as follows. 1. An immediate and unconditional ceasefire with effect from 24 hours local time, midnight, on 28th July 2025, tonight.
What it sounded like to me he was saying was we're not going to fight, no more fight. Papa San Trump, angry, no fight. I think that's what he said. Anybody knows different, let me know. Ha ha ha. That's what it sounded like to me. Here you go. Bill Clinton collected $12 million for his memoirs. Hillary Clinton got $8 million for her. That's $20 million for the memories of two people who for years have repeatedly testified under oath that they couldn't remember anything. Boy, these Democrats really crack you up. How they try to flip this narrative around. How to flip the narrative around. Anyway, let's see. I got this clip here. Hope y'all got something out of that business with how we're handling this Epstein thing with Virginia Giuffre and how people are going to wake up with that. Meanwhile, I've got a clip of Scott Jennings. Okay, he's going to tell everybody what the Democrats, how much they've stepped in it. But anyway, I went the whole broadcast. Forgot to mention that this is a viewer-supported channel only. I appreciate Shannon and Wayne for helping out this week and everybody that's helped out. I think I'm going to do a list of who put it on the screen. I have to type it up and see how to put it in my studio. For people that help throughout the month. So anyway, I have a link in the description for Buy Me a Coffee, and anybody who wants to help support the channel. I don't get anything from YouTube for my efforts. I'm not monetized. So anyway, and a thumbs up would be appreciated. And if you're not subscribed, why not? So anyway, what do I always say? I say thank you for spending your precious time with me. I should be going live tomorrow night. Make sure you join us so you can participate in the chats or just watch the chats go by. But anyway, here's some words of wisdom I'll leave y'all with, and I hope you have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Democrats, because of the Biden presidency, because they lied about Joe Biden's condition, because they lied to the country about the inflationary impacts of his policies, have dug themselves the deepest hole they've ever been in the history of their party. That's number one. Number two, cultural radicalism. I mean, when the hills you're willing to die on are boys and girls sports, paying for transgender surgeries of inmates, which Kamala Harris had in the last election. When you're willing to die on these hills, when you're willing to go deported back to his home country, I mean, when you're willing to die on all these 80-20 hills, eventually your approval rating will wind up, I'm no mathematician, but around 20.
Yeah, exactly.
They're getting there. And so this hole they've dug themselves in, like if I can't trust you not to put a boy in my daughter's locker room, why would I talk to you about taxation policy or inflation or tariffs or anything else? You're trying to put a boy in my girl's locker room.
That's right.
Why?